Welcome back to The Explainer. We're jumping right into the absolute pinnacle of harsh environment offshore engineering today. So if you're looking to understand the ultimate North Sea drilling solution, you are in exactly the right place. We are going to unpack exactly what makes the Category J, or Cat J, jackup rig a literal beast of structural and mechanical engineering built specifically to conquer some of the most unforgiving waters on the planet.
I want you to picture this for a second. It's the dead of night. A violent North Sea storm is raging. We're talking wind speeds hitting 60 meters per second, waves towering, a storm easily strong enough to completely capsize a standard supply boat. Now picture the driller standing right on the floor of the rig in the middle of all this chaos, and they feel absolutely nothing. Zero motion. That is not luck, guys. That's a Cat J doing exactly what it was built for. As the saying goes, 70 meters below, zero motion up here.
Part 1. The North Sea Problem, Surviving the Harshest Environment on Earth.
So the job of a jackup rig is, well, conceptually pretty simple. It's a three-step mission. You move to a specific offshore location. You jack the rig up out of the water on massive legs, and you drill from a totally fixed, motionless platform. Simple, right? But pulling this off in the North Sea, that requires executing this simple process on a physically massive, hardened scale. Because the environment out there aggressively punishes absolutely anything that floats. We're talking steep, short waves, incredibly strong currents, and rapid, violent weather shifts. You just can't rely on standard floating structures if you want maximum efficiency, safety, and continuous uptime year-round.
Part 2. Meet the Cat J, the supersized solution. Operators like Statoil, now Equinor of course, needed a platform way bigger and way stronger than anything that came before it. They had to efficiently drill in mature, shallow water fields, but survive those exceptional conditions without missing a single beat. Enter the Gusto MSC CJ70 design. Built by yards like Samsung Heavy Industries and Jurong Shipyard, the Cat J class is basically a supersized jackup. It's scaled up in every single dimension to just sit there, totally motionless above the waves, lit up like a small city, taking on the nastiest weather on Earth.
When you compare a standard jackup to the Cat J, the differences are honestly staggering. Every single system on this thing is deliberately oversized. The X-braced legs that resist extreme shear forces? Oversized. The variable speed jacking drives? Oversized. The massive derrick? You guessed it. It wasn't engineered for average conditions. It was designed directly against actual extreme North Sea storm data.
Part 3. By the numbers, scaling up for the North Sea.
Okay, let's look at the first critical number, the operating water depth range. 70 to 150 meters. Now, 150 meters is incredibly deep for a jackup. Most conventional, moderate environment units max out well below that limit. But the Cat J handles those depths while maintaining an operational air gap of roughly 69 meters between the hull and the sea surface. That means a 100-year storm wave crest will literally just pass right underneath it, no problem. Right alongside that is the maximum drilling depth capacity, a staggering 10,000 meters. That is deep enough to reach almost any complex, high-pressure reservoir target on the Norwegian continental shelf. And it does this using massive dual mud systems and fully automated pipe handling capabilities. To put that into perspective, 10,000 meters is nearly double what most conventional jackups can handle. This massive headroom isn't just an engineering flex. It's exactly why operators specifically choose a Cat J for deep, highly complex, and high-pressure well designs. It lets them execute operations that would literally break a smaller rig.
Part 4. The Operating Envelope. Hard Engineering Rules.
So let me throw a fundamental engineering question at you. Why do we even need a defined water depth range, like 70 to 150 meters, instead of just saying, hey, it can operate as deep as the legs go? It seems logical, right? I mean, if you've got massive 214-meter legs, just jack the thing up until they run out. Well, as it turns out, that assumption is incredibly dangerous.
Here's the aha moment. Leg length is really only half the story. The rig has to operate within a certified operating envelope. The jacking gears, the structural design of the hull, the sheer environmental loads from wind and waves, all of that is engineered and certified by class societies for a very specific depth limit. Push past that certified envelope, even if you physically have leg left over, and you're risking a catastrophic structural failure. You are basically trying to operate outside the laws of the rig's physics.
Part 5. The sister units. Real-world applications. So who's actually out there carrying the Cat J flag today? We have a few primary active sister units.
There's the Askapot and the Askeladden, both delivered in 2017 and operated by KCA Deutag for Equinor's licenses on fields like Oseberg and Gullfaks. Then we've got the Noble Lloyd Noble. Delivered in 2016 to Noble Drilling, this one actually holds records for its massive leg length and features an absolutely unprecedented 81-meter evacuation chute system.
But I have to give you a critical warning here. Do not confuse the term Cat J class with identical rig. Think of it kind of like a Boeing 737. They might all share the exact same baseline Gusto MSC CJ70 design, but over their operating life, they get uniquely modified. The Askapot, for example, has specific electrification upgrades. You always have to verify a specific rig's current configuration rather than just relying on its class name.
All right, to sum up our core takeaways for today's explainer. The Cat J is a supersized, harsh environment marvel. With its 70 to 150 meter operating water depth and a massive 10,000 meter drilling capacity, it was built from the ground up to conquer the absolute worst elements the North Sea can possibly throw at it, all while keeping the crew safe and operations super efficient.
Which leaves us with one final critical thought. We know the rig is nearly invincible when it's operated correctly, but human error? That's always the ultimate wild card. So, what is the one rule every beginner engineer absolutely needs to burn into their memory before ever stepping foot onto one of these massive Cat J rigs? Think back to what we just talked about regarding the operating envelope. Stick around because we're going to unpack the answer to that vital question in the next part of our series.